Well, Danny, to start off this East Bank Weekly, obviously we're still in the January transfer window. Just your thoughts on a few ins and outs that could possibly join the club?
Yeah, we squad-wise, we're probably not as... We haven't got the strength and depth that we want at the minute, so we are working on bringing players in because just for competition for places. And I mean, we lost 4 players, so we have got to replace those. Not necessarily, we don't necessarily bring 4 in, but we do need to bring some strength in, and we're working on that. But again, like I've said before, we have to make sure it's the right one and not just panic and go and sign the first one that becomes available, because we're in talks with a lot of players at the minute. It's got to be right for us. We do want to try and bring in a balance of, yes, to strengthen the squad now, but also players that we think that could be a benefit for us for next season as well. So yeah, the conversations are happening every day, and like anything, it's coming to those agreements on finances and contract lengths and how the contracts look and where they're going to fit in the group and whatnot. And we need to make sure that we've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's on that one.
And obviously with the dust settling from Saturday, you've been on a good run of form recently. Obviously, I know that's something you wanted to talk about. 5 games unbeaten is a pretty good return.
Yeah, we were poor, especially first half an hour Saturday. We were really poor, and it was disappointing that with the level of performances that we've had, that's what we put out on the pitch on Saturday. But realistically, we're not going to perform well every game. That just doesn't. The teams at the top level don't do that. They don't perform well every game. And the most important thing, and I kind of alluded to it in my post-match, about sometimes when a performance is the way it is, you just have to take the point. And because based on the first half now, we didn't deserve anything out of the game. I thought we were relatively comfortable second half, and we should have won it, but we didn't, and we got the point. It does extend the run. It extends an even longer run with our home form. And when I look at it, people say about me pulling positives. The biggest positive for me was that we had James Rowe and Alex Finney on the pitch for full games, and James Rowe hasn't started a game in the league since Woking, and Finney's been out for a while. And you look at it and you think, do I think they were both brilliant? No, I don't. I thought they found it hard at times, but they've only just come back from fitness and probably been thrown in a little bit earlier than what we probably wanted to. But for some of the criticism they got, especially some of the stuff on social media, and I believe there were some comments made on Shots Web and stuff, that it's just disgraceful. I don't think anyone involved in any football club should be able to say things, and some of the comments they made about some of our players, and it's not even talking about their performance. I mean, to almost want a player to not be alive, I'm going to try and put it in not such an aggressive way, is disgraceful for me, and I'm confident that you as a media team and the club have dealt with it in the right way, and it's been reported to the right bodies that it needs to be done, because it is football at the end of the day. And if they'd have criticised their performance from a technical or tactical perspective or work ethic and whatnot, that's life, and that's just people's interpretations and people's opinions, which is what football is and what makes it such a great sport, because everyone has got an opinion. But to talk about it the way they did about some of our players like that, those people are not welcome in our family, not at all.
And particularly with the work we've been doing, with mine, with Shots for a Day, and obviously with the recent passing of Chris Barker, Tony Brooke and Ron Boyd.
I mean, that's a fantastic point. With the whole premises of Saturday was about we've lost a really, really valuable member of the football family to what can only be described as maybe some kind of mental issues because of what actually happened in the circumstances. And then for people that call themselves our fans to talk about our player like that, they don't know what his mental state is. They don't know what he might do to himself. So it was really disappointing. Really disappointing.
And speaking of mine, Shots for a Day is sponsored kindly by this group as well. I know that's something you're heavily involved in as well, something you quite enjoyed with Amra as well.
I mean, it's a real tough one, because we talked about it at the fans forum about supporters and fans. Mm-hmm. The people that were here on Monday, they were unbelievable. They're real Aldershot supporters. They've put their hand in their pocket to be a part of it. You could just see the love for the club. and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I mean, obviously I won 7-1, so I'm going to be over the moon. But no, but all jokes aside, the kind of passion they showed, and the lads that scored again the goal at this end in the East Bank, and they're celebrating. It's an empty East Bank, but I tried to explain to the players that the passion for this club for the majority of our supporters is no different than if you support one of the biggest names in world football, and to take that pride in sticking one in the net this end and celebrating. Don't matter if there's anyone in it or not, but they got to celebrate in front of a stand that they probably stand on most weeks, trying to celebrate themselves. So from everything, from the organisation of the day, the people that were working on the day, from our experience of being a part of the managers that managed both teams, it was excellent. And plus we also got to give the fans that were there, the supporters that were there, the kind of a real behind the scenes look at where we've come from, where we've got to, how we've got there, and hopefully they appreciated that, and people can start to see a little bit of, actually we don't just sit around twiddling our thumbs all day or just talking to each other about random stuff. We do put quite a lot of work in.
That's one thing you stress as well on the day, is you're quite open. You know, if anyone wants to talk to you, can after a game, whenever you're around.
I was probably on a roll with honesty. Everything they asked, I told them exactly how it was, and I actually surprised we didn't get some more questions. But no, we've always tried to make it an us, and that's what we wanted to do with the guys that were involved on Mondays. I wanted them to feel that they were a part of something, and is it going to always be perfect? No. Are we making progress? Yes. Is there still a lot to do? Yes. Is it going to be a quick fix? No. And people need to keep reminding themselves of those things, but it's all about the long-term goals and the long-term visions of the club. And as long as people can stick to that and understand that no matter how annoyed they are when they walk off the terraces, that it is one game and there is another one. And that's one great thing about football, there's always another one. And we move on, and we sort of try and do what I do. I use Saturday evening until about lunchtime Sunday to vent all my frustrations, and then you have to move on, and that's why I reported the way I did on Saturday after the game. You take the point, we've got to move on. We can't dwell on it too much, because we can spend so much time moaning about what we didn't do in that game that actually affects our preparations for the next one.
Yeah, because ultimately as disappointing as it was to not get 3 points any day, we moved up a place. You know, and it's still a positive.
Well, I mean, if you'd have said before the game, regardless of the result, you're going to move up a place, you're going to extend your unbeaten run, and you're going to score 3 goals at home, everyone would have beat your hand off. The circumstances were that we only got a point, but those 3 things still happened. And yes, it could have been maybe 2 or 3 places we jumped, but we have to, it's small steps, and we're harder to beat. But I mean, we'll talk about it more in the pre-match, but obviously Dover's going to be another massively tough challenge for us. So we've got to make sure we're doing what we're capable of doing, and we've got to look at the fact of the squad size and managing players and making sure everyone's fit for purpose.
Click here for the next video, click here to subscribe.